My name is Josh Haycraft. I am currently based out of Los Angeles. I'm really interested in the aesthetics of science fiction and how in those stories, before any kind of plot or narrative can be established, the world has to be created, the background has to exist, and in a lot of ways that background becomes a character, oftentimes an antagonist, where the viewer in my projects then becomes the protagonist and often has to confront this world and kind of interpret and react. I am a multidisciplinary artist. I create objects, videos, and installations that explore the technological sublime, and I bundle it all under the ambiguous acronym BHBITB. BHBITB is it's an ambiguous umbrella that as my interests and projects change, it can shift and change as well. I think it's acting more as the background. I'm not interested in narrative. I'm interested in the narrative qualities of objects. I want there to be holes and contradiction and ambiguity. Just like, in the real world, there's multiple realities taking place at the same time, and people kind of find their reality that fits their worldview, and oftentimes those are very contradictory. Frederick Jameson talks about technology as contemporary society's other. It's kind of like culmination of the entire human existence. So with these, I'm looking at like a birth of a machine and also a death, or a machine that's designed or built to die. The project that I was working on immediately before I came here, I was creating these, what I was calling alchemy appliances, where they're devices that have some sort of magical quality, where technology is kind of advanced to this point where it is magical. We're nearing that. The cell phone is a pretty magical device. But I like the name alchemy appliance because it relates to this precursor to science. It's kind of the foundation of the scientific method, but we think of it as it's like Greek mythology. It's like a quaint idea. As we evolve our knowledge or expand our knowledge, our old ideas become obsolete. How if we were to look at these objects from the future with this lack of knowledge of what that reality would be, how we would look upon those things without any idea of how they would function, what the need for them is. So coming to Bemis, I was using that as a starting point. So with these objects here, I've been trying to, the last project, they still were holding on to this kind of predetermined like consumer product aesthetic. And what I've done here is just strip all of that back to try and create an object that I think of as a machine or some form of technology without any of the language of consumer technology. A locomotive train going 25 miles an hour was exhilarating and terrifying, and how, 10 years later, it was completely incorporated into everybody's conception of society and became a kind of mundane aspect of everyday life. And I think that's, going back to the technological sublime, I think that's the main theme that I've been trying to use as my guiding arrow, and thinking about how at the beginning stages, it is this kind of beautiful, amazing, overwhelming, and terrifying. All these emotions kind of exist at the same time.